Hello and welcome to Post to Post, the channel where we discuss all things hockey and all teams. Recently, we talked about the Swedish arenas, we talked about the British arenas, and now we're going to talk about the Czech arenas. A very nice guy by the name of, well, we would say Jacob by the way it's spelled, but I think his name is Jakob.
Probably Jakob, I think, yeah.
So thank you very much for sending these pictures in.
Well done.
These aren't ranked. There are no particular orders. It's just listed how we sent them. We're just going to go through them, talk about what we like about the outside, what we like about the inside, or dislike. That's basically it. Just looking at rinks from other parts of the world is interesting to us.
It is fascinating.
A lot of rinks in North America are so cookie cutter. They just all look the same in a way. The outsides are different, but the insides in general basically look the same. So it's so interesting looking at arenas from other countries, and we have a few other countries coming up too. So look out for those.
Alrighty.
So let's just start off with the first team, and that is
Hck Mehta in Brno. And we've seen the logos, we've done the logos or kind of talked about them before, so we're not going to spend a lot of time, but it just helps to tee up the location and the team.
Yeah, and some of these pictures are a bit small, and I did try and find replacement images that were a bit bigger, but I just couldn't find any. There's just not a lot of images available, unfortunately, for these arenas. So we're doing the best we can with the size of images we have. So
and this is the DRFG arena. Seats 4,700, but there's lots of standing room, so there's a total of more than that. And this rink was built in 1982.
It reminds me of the Harbor Center in St. John a little bit.
Harbor Station,
Harbor Station, yeah.
Yeah, it does. It has that.
It's just totally round. And
kind of that shape to it. And I think the totally round really shows up in the inside photo that you're going to get to. Do
you think that's a screen on the outside? That big black thing?
It might be. Maybe it's built for outdoor things, or perhaps to advertise what's going on inside. Yeah. But what does that remind you of?
Heaven. That looks amazing.
Well, it is gorgeous.
I don't know.
Does it remind you a bit of Madison Square Garden?
Yeah.
Where they have the, kind of like the spokes of a wheel that all go to the center?
Yeah, now that you say that, that does.
Very impressive.
I would love to see that lighting in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, exactly. Way better job here than Madison Square Garden in New York as far as lighting goes.
This looks incredible.
It does. It's beautiful.
I would love to see a hockey game in this arena. That's the best lighting I think I've ever seen in an arena so far that we've started to do this.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, well done.
Next.
And this is the HK Mountfield Heretic Carlo plays there. Total capacity of 6,890, and it seats 3,600 and change. But probably, as we will see in a lot of these arenas, they have a lot of standing room, usually at the ends or in the corners.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to, get exact capacity numbers.
It doesn't look that big from the outside.
No, it looks like a school
or
something.
Almost. Yeah. I love the glass, all the glass on the outside.
That's glass guy cool. Here.
Yeah.
This was built in 1957, so that's why it's maybe a little more vintage looking or traditional looking. Yeah.
All right, the inside.
The inside.
It's way bigger on the inside. I can't believe it's that big.
Yeah. Yeah. I noticed when I looked at this one ahead of time, there's, again, as we see a lot in European rinks, there's a separation from the boards to the crowd. Like you don't see the seating going right up to the boards, or the half wall, as somebody would call it. Yeah. So, and that could be, as we heard in some cases, due to wanting to have standing ability there too. So
that could be absolutely. The first thing I noticed about this rink is that there's the windows on the outside along the right are there, and you can see the sun shining in on the seats. That's not very good for those 15 people sitting in that spot, that bright spot there.
No, and there's another one coming up that's similar to that, where they actually have a shade built on the outside of the arena to block that kind of sunlight. But you'll see outside light coming in a few of these, and I really like it generally.
And a few other countries as well. I think Swiss has some arenas with some windows.
Yeah, Swiss has a couple of really real beauties.
But look at the long stretch lights. They just go all the way.
Yeah, it looks almost like fluorescent lighting, but clearly the amount of illumination on the ice surface itself is really good. So I think there's more going on there for lighting than we can see.
For an arena built in the 50s, it looks in pretty good shape. Maybe they renovated it or something. But
and what don't you see on that ice surface? Well, you don't see curling circles, for one thing. But there's no advertising there. I'm so used to seeing.
Notice.
I'm so used to seeing advertising plastered all over the ice. There's a few rinks that we will see in this series that don't have obvious advertising like that. So.
Wow, I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
All right, next up.
And this is the HM Arena for the Skoda in Plzeň. 5879 seating capacity, and that has standing room as well on top of that. Built in 1969. And it looks almost like a movie theater.
Well, it's funny you say that because I was just about to say the first thing I thought of was the movie Waterworld.
Oh, yeah.
Got the makeshift sails and stuff on those boats.
Yes, the sails, exactly, yeah.
Kind of reminds me of that. It also reminds me of Avatar. They have those shields that they use, I think. So, too, I went straight to Hollywood on both, so it's funny that you say that.
Yeah, it just has
It's very unique looking. I like it. I don't dislike it.
No, it's fine, yeah.
I wouldn't guess that it's an arena, though.
But in 1969, I bet that design was very futuristic.
Oh, yes.
You know? Yeah. Inside, and here's one of the ones, another one, where the daylight is allowed in.
You can see almost the shade effect there.
Yeah.
I love it.
I do, too.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And this is another ice surface with no advertising on it. And notice the bench seating. Notice that don't appear to be actual seats.
Yeah.
Everybody sits on a bench, kind of like the, going to a speedway, a small speedway where you just sit on a plank of wood. Here, I don't see any assigned seating. Do you?
I don't, but I'm so distracted by this lawnmower Zamboni. Look how small it is compared to...
Looks almost like a floor polisher one or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A high school floor polisher.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just the ice is so big that the Zamboni looks small. Who knows?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I like this arena.
I do too.
Look at the light coming in the top as well. All the sides. I love this.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I like the outdoor entry into the indoors.
And you can even see those shapes that we were talking about before in the back wall there.
That's right.
Coming through.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Great job.
Yeah.
Well done.
Next.
The Billy Tigri in Liveredge. Oh yeah, this is the Tigers, as we would say. This is the Home Credit Arena. 7,250 seating, and it has 7,500 total with the standing room. Built in 2005, and this is Jakob's favorite club because he lives in this area. So this would be his. Notice on the outside the bi-levels.
Well, I was gonna say it just looks like a parking garage to a mall.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. So 2 levels of parking. You can actually get on a second level and park right what must be on the same level as the main entry doors. Yeah, so it's an interesting.
It looks like an arena.
Yeah, oh, sure it does.
You can see the rounded edge there. Yeah.
Yeah.
No question. All right, let's look at the inside.
The inside, yeah.
Looks big.
It looks very big, yeah. It looks nice and high. As I said, over 7,000 seating capacity. And it's nice inside.
It looks like there's a lot of space between the seats.
I was thinking the same thing. Looks like it's well spaced out.
Yeah.
And the seats curve around the corners of the arena rather than being at oddball right angles, so you're not looking off to one side. So everybody is facing center ice, or pretty well.
And look how much walking room there is in the aisles. There's so much room, and even leg room.
Yeah, even between seats, the pitch between the row in front of you and you. Yeah, it looks like it'd be a nice, pleasant place to watch a game.
You wouldn't find that in North America.
No.
You're just sitting there like this.
Yeah,
all the arenas.
like sardines.
Yeah, that's why the seating capacity in the NHL is
maybe
over 20,000 per arena.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah, this is HC Dukla in, I'd say, Yelava, 7,500 capacity, but you look at it from the outside, it looks like it wouldn't seat that many. And I find it, now maybe this isn't the main entrance, but the photograph that we were given by Jakob shows this as the as the outside of the arena. That may be the main entrance, and if it is, I can just imagine how much of a hazard it would be when the game's over and all these people pour down the steps right out onto the street almost. But
it looks like somewhere you'd go to get a library book or something. Yeah, like a secondhand library bookstore or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And inside, I think this is interesting.
Wow.
You can see that there's a slope to the roof that I think must maybe go up or be a higher behind the camera angle here, because this is supposedly seating 7,500 people. And if we just look at what's across the ice surface, there's no way, if this side is the same size, that you can get 7,500 people in there. So maybe there's a lot at the ends, or maybe there's a lot in behind on this side of the arena. And look at the empty space between the seating and the ice.
That's the first thing I noticed. The second thing I noticed was all the natural light coming in.
Yes.
Which is awesome. The third thing I noticed was those giant jerseys hanging from the rafters. And the ones in the NHL probably are the same size, but they just look smaller because the arena is 4 times as big as this.
Could be.
But it looks a little strange with that giant jersey up there. Yeah, very, very unique.
Yeah, very unique.
Next.
This is the Sparta team in Prague, and this is the O2 Arena.
Wow.
Yeah, this one here is more like we're used to seeing here in North America. This
That's
was
amazing.
Built in 2004 and seats like 18,000 people.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
That looks amazing.
It's a big one. And I think we'll see in the inside there's a feature that they have, at least in some of their seats, that I'd love to see. And that is what looks, if you look in the lower right-hand corner, those seats appear to have padding.
The lower right-hand corner.
Yeah, like just down in this area here. Like there almost seems to be a double layer of seat material before it folds down. And I'm thinking that might be a padded seat.
I thought you meant the lower right-hand corner of the rink way down here.
Oh.
I was like, how do you see that?
Sorry. Yeah, I just meant the image.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Now, whether all the seats are like that, I know in the old Montreal Forum, if you were down in the reds in a certain area, you had a padded seat. But if you were up in the nosebleeds in the whites, you had just a hard seat. So that may be the case here
roof
too.
as well.
Yeah, another circular, almost Madison Square Garden-y kind of intersection in the middle.
But no Jumbotron or score clock or anything.
I love that.
I know.
Regular viewers will know why.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's very nice. Very nice.
All right, next.
Okay, and this is in Viktovice, or Viktovice, maybe I should be saying it. And I apologize for my pronunciation of some
Canadian,
of these.
we've never been to Czech-Republic.
And you know, the same letters in various parts of Europe are pronounced in totally different ways, and I don't speak any European language, so I'm trying my best. All right, now this looks, I love it.
It kind of looks like the top of an aircraft control tower. A little bit.
Yeah.
A bigger version, but...
Yeah, it does, yeah. This is the Ostrovar Arena. Seats just over 10,000. And it was built in 1986. Pretty good year.
Pretty good year indeed.
Yeah.
I don't like those poles.
Well, I think they're, you know, I think they eventually have flags on them. Maybe for an international event, you'd put up the flags of each of the countries. I think it would dress it up some, but I don't think they're there just to be poles. I think they're flag poles.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Inside.
Inside. I like the inside.
It's a nice looking score clock.
It is.
And look at that giant TV down on the other end.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up for the big TV at the end. And there's not much else at the end, you see. Like there's really not a lot of seating there, and probably not a lot on this end either. But they do seem to have seating that goes quite high up on probably both sides of the arena.
I wonder what that is up at above the arena way down there.
It could be similar to what they have in like the Fredericton Aiken Center, for instance, for New Brunswick viewers who've ever been there. At one side, they have what they used to have, like, you know, the Canadians Club or whatever, higher end sponsor type members of the organization and big sponsors of the team had a lounge they could go to where they could, you know, get a beverage and go to a window and look out onto the ice and watch the game from up in there. So it could be like boxes or something special, VIP type stuff. Just a guess. The SD Arena, where the hockey club Pirati Chomutov plays, 4,000 plus seating and 5,000 plus overall capacity. Built in 2010. I like the outside. You see this structure, like almost like the Gateway Arch in St. Louis.
Do you think that's for engineering purposes to help the structure, or do you think that's just a visual appeal?
I think it's engineering.
Yeah.
You can see the crisscrossing cables at the very top that are probably holding up the roof, and I think when you look inside, you'll see how much expanse there is in the ceiling, and I think this is due to that same engineering.
Well, let's look on the inside.
Let's look on the inside. See how bowed and big it is up top.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it.
It looks so much bigger on the inside than it does on the
does,
outside.
yeah. And of course, there's not a lot of pillars or heavy girders inside, so it's allowed to have this more, I see, expansive looking ceiling. I like it.
I like again, those long stretch light, just all in one line. I like that.
Yeah, and these are actually crossways across the arena or the rink surface rather than lengthwise. I don't think it matters. And you see a lot of daylight coming in the entryways there between the seats.
Yeah.
The Aiken Center in Fredericton is like that too.
It is. I remember that.
Yeah, and what they have to do sometimes, depending on what's going on, if they're holding a daytime event, but they don't want it to be that brightly lit or glary, they have to close curtains.
Yeah, they just have curtains in front. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yep.
Ads on the boards here.
Yes, and there's something on the ice surface too that maybe there's ads down there in the face-off circles, and you can see how everything is tilted and angled. So I'm guessing the TV position is on our left, because when the TV camera is at the center ice looking around the arena, all of the logos that look to be kind of at an angle from our version, or our vantage point.
Yeah, good point.
Would be straight on for the TV cameras. So
Yeah, good point.
Kinda.
Next up.
This is the Energo Arena, Mlada Boleslav, 4,200 capacity. And this was built in 1956, so it's quite a bit older.
It looks it.
It does. And you see, again, like a bowing structure in the middle that helps hold the roof up. And, of course, the ceiling inside. And you'll see the ceiling is very high above the ice surface when you look at the inside.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And you can tell it's a bit of an older arena, though.
Yeah, sure thing.
It seems so dark over on the far side there where people sit, which I guess doesn't really matter. You want the light to be on the ice, but...
Yeah, and there may be just house lighting that they can turn on and off for depending on what they're doing in there.
Could be just this picture.
Yeah, what I picked up on this one and a few others is that the front row of the seating, the closest to the ice level, is elevated. Appears to be elevated by quite a distance. And we had a comment when we did the United Kingdom EIHL.
Yep.
Or EIHL? EHL.
EIHL.
EIHL. Thank you. When we did that, one of the commentators that came in on the video said, like, although we liked, from our perspective, what that might look like, he said, sitting there is not that great because when you look down in front of you, you don't see any of the play that's going along on the boards.
Right.
So when someone is, digging for the puck, you actually just see them from the shoulders up. You have very little vantage point on
I can
what's
see how
happening.
that would be frustrating for sure.
I think it would be, yeah. So maybe that's something that afflicts viewers in a setup like this as well. I don't know. But
you can see the structure on the inside, this giant beam here, which was part of that arc that was holding up the roof, and the natural light in the center coming through.
Yeah, very nice.
Next up,
Stadium Ludka Chesky, I would say, in Brno, Zin. 7,000 people total, 4,000 and some sitting, a little more than that. Built in 1960.
I was going to guess the year.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say 40s.
1962.
Yeah, I was going to say late 40s.
Yeah, it has kind of more of a vintage look.
Looks like a library.
It does. They do a good job of lighting it inside, though. They
Is that a patio on the outside for food?
25 bar restaurant.
That's amazing.
Look at that.
All right, let's look at the inside.
I like what this looks like. It's very brilliant in a way.
Very brilliant, yes.
Yeah.
Look at how high the roof goes.
Yeah, there's a peak at the top that you don't see from the outside. We just looked at the outside of it, and we really didn't see how
that's amazing.
Actually fits.
I like that the ceiling is using that reflective insulation or aluminum or whatever that is.
Yeah.
I like that. It helps bounce the light.
And I think there's some ads on the ice surface here.
There's ads everywhere.
There's ads everywhere. There's actual real ads on the glass.
Yeah.
If you look in the lower left-hand corner, you see the Skoda ad, and maybe Audi after that. I see the A and what looks like a U. But, we had a video a long time ago about me whining about how they put fake ads on the glass behind each goal.
Yep.
And
digital,
all done, and it wasn't even well done, frankly, in my view. And I was thinking at the time that, they can only do it digitally because you could never put an ad on the glass because it would obstruct the view of the people behind it. I guess I was wrong.
I guess you were wrong, yeah. Yeah. Just an outline.
There's an outline.
Yeah.
I guess people sitting back there must just get used to looking at the play through this obstruction in the glass.
Yeah.
And I don't see any. Oh, yeah, there is netting. It's just not. The netting is nice and colored so that it doesn't appear too.
Exactly.
It's dark, I guess.
Even though this arena is old, it looks good. I like it.
Looks really good. Yeah.
Next.
Okay, this is in Litvinov. This is the Stadion Ivana Linky. 6,011 people fit in here, but only 1,700 have seats, apparently. Want to guess the year of this one?
It looks old. I'm going to say late 70s.
1955, according to our researcher, Jakob. So there's a lot of standing room in this one, I guess we'll say.
I would say, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all standing room at the back, I think.
And I think probably what we can't see on near sides. Yeah, and there is some seating. It looks quite nice and steep.
Look at the fans in the corners. Maybe that's just for whatever they're doing right now, but that's a little strange.
Yeah, the fans don't look like they're big enough to have an effect on the overall climate.
No.
In the building, for sure. Yeah. Maybe they're just there for show.
Could be.
Yeah.
It's so yellow. Yeah. I mean, I guess that there's yellow in their logo makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's nice to have, fans you can depend on.
Yeah. Well done.
Thanks.
Looks like you can walk up here. There's some...
Yeah, catwalks.
Catwalks up there.
Probably for maintenance personnel, maybe to hang banners eventually when they accumulate some. So,
Would you watch a game from up there?
Would I?
That'd be strange.
Yeah, I'd want some Captain Morgan or something to help take the edge off.
It'd be very unnerving.
Yeah.
All right, next up.
Party Beach. Yeah. Tip Sport. This is the Tip Sport Arena, HC Dynamo. This will have a lot of people in it. You might be shocked at when this one was built. It's in Pardubice, is how you'd say that. Capacity is over 10,000, and it was built in, take a guess. And there's likely been renovations since then.
Wow, based on what you just said, I'll probably say 50s.
Yeah, it's older than me.
Older than you?
Wow.
That means it's
older than dirt. 1958.
Wow.
Yeah, you'll find that the ice is well lit.
It looks big, though.
It does, and it is fairly big. It seats, there's 10,000 capacity.
All right.
The ice is well lit. The seating does not appear to be, but again, that could just be...
Yeah, not the best picture here.
Yeah.
But it looks huge. Mm-hmm. Lots of ads. Look at those ads.
Yeah.
Holy.
And look how they're tilted. That tells you where the TV camera is going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
on the right in this picture. And there's two decks where, there's two like seating areas. There's the lower deck and then their lower bowl and then the upper deck.
Yeah.
And I think that's...
I'm going to zoom in on this score clock here. What does that look like to you on the left and on the right?
Well, it looks like old-fashioned score clocks on the corners to me.
It looks like a calculator to me.
A calculator.
Because of the green. You get the green.
Okay, yeah.
Whatever. And then the buttons. It looks like each thing has a button.
All right. Great imagination you've got there.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, next.
This is the I'd say the Werk Arena. W-E-R-K is how you say it, or how you spell it. I'm guessing it's a hard V sound, so Werk. And it stands for the steelworks and ironworks that are in this area.
I love this thing.
Yeah, this is in Třinec.
You can tell that's an arena. It's got lots of glass.
Or Třinec, I guess, Třinec.
The logo's on the outside of the building.
Mm-hmm. Now, you'd think by looking at that must seat like 10 or 15,000, but the capacity is only 5,200.
Let's look at the inside.
Yeah, the inside. Built in 2014. Again, curved seating, so you see the seats kind of curve around with the boards, which is nice.
Looks like there's some raised seating way above by those pillars.
Yeah.
And the lights that go the other way again.
Yeah. I think it'd be a nice rink to see a game.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Go to
no
Třinec.
ads on the boards, no ads on the ice.
Yeah. Yeah, nice and clean looking.
Next.
Yeah, this is the Zimny Stadion in Olomouc. Very nice. Very futuristic. And this is the one I was telling you about the one that had a shade. If you look at the upper right-hand side, there's actually a shade that's built there to prevent too much light from that angle. That must be the south, I guess, where the sun would normally pile in there.
You think this is nice?
I don't think it looks nice. I think it's a necessity. The inside looks great.
I mean the entire outside.
The outside?
Yeah,
not a fan.
Looks nice.
Well,
it looks like a machinery shed or something.
Well, it does, but I think what they did was they sacrificed outside architecture for inside beauty.
All right, I'll trust you. Let's look at the inside.
Here we appear to be watching a game that's happening at night. But what you can't see in this photo is that there is light coming in at the top deck, just underneath the ceiling, all the way around the arena. And when in the daytime out there, it's quite nice. But you can't have too much coming in because then it would probably interfere with the ice plant. If the sun is blasting in right on the ice surface, it must be hard.
Yeah, definitely. Or the cameras, you can't have it come right at the cameras.
Exactly.
So. All right, that's the last team. That wraps it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed going through those arenas with us at home. And maybe you learned something new. I know I did. I saw these pictures just very briefly before we made this video.
Yeah.
So this is the first time that I've gone through and looked at them in depth.
And
it's a lot of fun.
Jakob did a great job
he did.
Getting all the information together, not only just the photographs, but the information about the locations of the arenas and what their names are and everything else.
Yep, absolutely. So thank you very much for doing that.
Yeah.
If you like this video, hit the like button, share it with a friend. If you're new to this channel, hope you hit the subscribe button and join us for future videos. And otherwise, we will see you in the future. Adios.